Today we are going to learn about the interface and workspace in Photoshop, what's inside and how it works. Mainly, we are going to talk about shortcut keys, which can be a little overwhelming because I'm pretty much showing the entire set of shortcut keys for Photoshop, I think. But knowing shortcut keys in Photoshop definitely increases editing skills and saves tons of time. Some of them are used frequently, and some of them are just good to know. Without further ado, let's get started. When you launch Photoshop, the home screen appears. And this is home screen as you seeing it now. The home screen shows the following tabs and buttons on the left. Select the New File button to create a new document by choosing from the numerous templates and presets available in Photoshop. Use the Open button to open an existing document, and click on the Home tab to access the home screen. To start learning Photoshop, click on the Learn tab. Here, you'll find basic and advanced tutorials. We'll talk more about these tutorials later in the video, as they're our main learning resource. But for now, let's keep going. Let's create a new file. Go to File and select New. Here, you can choose the canvas size. I usually use the YouTube thumbnail size. For resolution, you can choose either 72, 150, or 300. Typically, a resolution of 72 is sufficient for online use, but if you're planning to print images or graphics, you might need a resolution of 300. Now let's talk about the Photoshop workspace. Right now it's set to Essential. You can change the workspace using this button. Depending on your needs, you can customize it. However, the most popular one is the default setting, so we'll stick with the Essential default setting. Let's check out how Photoshop is set up. First, we have 3 types of bars. The menu bar at the very top shows File, Edit, Image, and other menus, giving you access to various commands, adjustments, and panels. The Options bar, situated just below the menu bar, displays options for the tool you are currently using. The Tools panel on the left holds tools for editing images and creating artwork. Similar tools are grouped together, and you can access related tools by clicking and holding a tool in the panel. On the right side, you have panels including Color, Layers, Properties, and others, which contain various controls for working with images. The document window in the middle displays the file you are currently working on, with tabs showing up for multiple open documents. The document window is separable, allowing you to move images around. The document window in Photoshop works similarly to the tab menu on a computer. If you drag the document window, it becomes separate, just like in both macOS and Windows tab menus. Additionally, you can move an image from one document window to another. Click on the picture and then drag it to the next document, similar to how you move files between folders on a computer. Next, let's talk about how to zoom and pan. You can zoom in and out using the magnifying glass. But usually, people prefer to use shortcut keys. Control plus 0i fits the view. Control plus 1 magnifies the view to 100%. Control plus zooms in. Control plus hyphen zooms out. The hand tool, located above the zoom tool, allows you to move around. The undo button is a crucial feature in Photoshop. To undo your last action, select Edit, Undo, or use Ctrl plus Z, Windows, or Command plus Z, macOS. There is a limit to the number of undo steps available. To adjust this limit, you can go to the Settings. Select Photoshop 2024, Settings, General SARS Preferences. The number next to History States indicates how many undo steps you can perform. You can set history states to around 300, but be cautious as more undo steps may occupy more storage. Next, let's go to the interface. Here, you can change the color theme. Move on to file handling and make sure to check the automatically save recovery information every action box. I set it to 10 minutes, meaning Photoshop will automatically save the file every 10 minutes. Once you're done, click OK. Now, let's discuss another important aspect, how to save files. There are 3 ways to do it. 1. Choose File, Save As. Saving in Photoshop format, .psd, preserves layers, type, and other editable properties. Save your work in PSD format during the editing process. PSD files can be used in various Adobe software, including Adobe Illustrator, Adobe InDesign, and Adobe After Effects. 2. choose File, Export, Quick Export as PNG. PNG.PNG is a lossless format ideal for images with transparency, providing higher quality but larger file sizes. 3. Choose File, Export, Export As. In this option, you can choose JPG, GIF, or PNG formats. JPEG, JPG, is a compressed format suitable for photographs, offering smaller file sizes. GIF is a format primarily used for simple graphics and animations, supporting transparency and limited colors. Now, let me quickly share some shortcut keys. We'll revisit these during the tutorials, so don't stress about memorizing them. Just enjoy watching the video. Firstly, we have the D and X keys. D sets default foreground and background colors. X switches between foreground and background colors. Here are some handy shortcuts used frequently, especially with clipping masks. Control-T transforms, allowing you to freely scale. B selects the brush tool. When using the brush tool, holding Alt becomes an eyedropper, useful for color extraction. Right-click to show brush settings. Adjust brush size with the S and Panax brackets. Adjust brush hardness with and use Shift with brackets. Rotate the brush using arrow keys. Hold Shift for faster rotation. Other important tools include E, Eraser tool. Now, exploring further shortcuts, let's delve into additional tools. Pressing P activates the pen tool, functioning like a vector pen. Use the spacebar to swiftly switch to the hand tool, allowing you to navigate the canvas freely. The V key activates the Move tool, handy for repositioning layers or images. For a different perspective, hit R to engage the Rotate View tool, and ESC resets it to the default view. To access rulers, press Ctrl+R. And you can adjust their position percentage-wise by Hold-Alt right-clicking on the ruler line and selecting Edit Selected Guide. Copying and pasting can be done with Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V. Grouping layers is a breeze with Ctrl+G. And you can toggle layer visibility using the eye icon or Ctrl+, Clipping a layer is achieved by holding Alt. For selections, employ Ctrl+, click on the thumbnail to generate a selection. Inverting the selection is done with Ctrl+I. Creating a new layer with the selection and adding a clipping mask results in the mask auto-filling to the selection. To convert a path to a selection, use the pen tool and press Ctrl plus Enter. Shift-click disables the mask, signified by an X, indicating its deactivation. Within the Selection tool, you'll find the Mark key and Lasso tools. Notably, Photoshop's Selection tool allows you to pick and isolate specific areas or objects in an image for editing or manipulation. To switch between the Rectangle and Ellipse selection tools, hold Shift plus M. Now, let's focus on key aspects. After making a selection, you can add to it by holding Shift and dragging. To subtract from the selection, hold the Alt key while dragging. Holding Shift plus, Alt plus, dragging leaves only the intersection of the selection. These shortcut keys also apply to the Lasso tool. For layers, pressing Ctrl and the bracket keys changes the layer's position. Holding Alt and the bracket keys changes the selection of the layer. Pressing Shift plus Alt plus, the bracket keys adds the layer above to the active selection. To activate all layers, press Ctrl plus Alt plus A. Pressing numbers 1 to 0 adjusts the layer's opacity. Pressing 1 to 0 twice and 0 once more sets the opacity to 0, then back to 100%. For fill, use the same keys but hold Shift while doing so. Ctrl plus Alt plus G creates a clipping mask. Scrolling with Ctrl adjusts left and right. Ctrl plus D deselects, and to reselect, hold Ctrl plus Shift plus D. When it comes to differences, duplicating a layer, Ctrl plus J, copies the selected layer exactly. While creating a new layer, Ctrl plus Alt plus Shift plus N generates an entirely new one. To merge visible layers, press Ctrl plus Shift plus E. Using the brush or pen tool, Holding Shift and dragging creates a straight line. For shapes, hold Shift and drag to make a perfectly proportional circle. While using the brush, if you want to switch to erasing, hold the tilde ban key. Alt plus, backspace fills with the foreground color, while Control plus, backspace fills with the background color. Highlight the text, hold Control plus, Shift plus to make the text larger. Highlight the text, hold Control plus, Shift plus to make the text smaller. Control plus, Shift plus, K, capitalize. Control plus, Shift plus, U, R, underline. Control plus, Shift plus, B, all bold. Control plus, Shift plus, I, or as italics. Select your text, then hold Alt plus, tap the arrow key up and down to decrease or increase leading 2 points or pixels. Hold Shift plus, Alt, and tap the arrow key up and down to increase or decrease the baseline shift. To change kerning, spacing between two characters, click the space, hold Alt plus arrow key left and right to decrease or increase the space. That's all for the shortcut keys. I believe I've covered the entire Photoshop for you. Now, let's talk about how we can practice in Photoshop. I've thought a lot about how to efficiently teach people. I've explored many options, but the most effective way, in my opinion, is to study through the educational videos created by the company that made Photoshop. Of course, there are pros and cons. First, let's see how to use it. Go to Help and select Hands-on Tutorials. When you click on this, a discovery panel appears, and various tutorials are displayed. You can start a tutorial by clicking here, and it will automatically begin, guiding you with blue speech balloons. There are advantages and disadvantages to this approach. The advantage is that you don't need to prepare materials separately. Honestly, the most challenging part is preparing the photos or resources needed for practice, and this solves that issue. The disadvantage is that sometimes the tutorials are poorly explained or errors occur. So I plan to supplement this part. Future tutorials will be based on the content found here. If you have time, go through everything. If not, scan through the titles because they tell you what Photoshop can do. This is great for beginners like myself. I've already gone through all of them, and it's fantastic. That's it for today. See you again next time.